games begin. Come walk in my shoes. I done paid all my dues. I got something to prove. All in, nothing to lose. I was born for this. From day one I wanted it. We come too far to quit. Ain't no stopping it. I was born for this. From day one I wanted it. We come too far to quit. Ain't no stopping it. Ain't no stopping it. Ain't no stopping it. Ain't no stopping it. Let the games begin.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to the Duke Wells Center here in Arkadelphia, Arkansas for today's matchup featuring the 15th ranked Southern Nazarene Crimson Storm and the Henderson State Reddies. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. James Hill here with you live from Arkadelphia. And we just saw a thrilling win for the women as they won their 5th game in a row, defeating Henderson State in what was a thriller. And the men are looking to follow that up here this evening, looking for their 6th straight win as they welcome in Henderson State. SNU, 5 straight games. They have held a team under 60 points. They have been getting it done on the defensive end, and they're going to look to continue that here this evening as they take on Henderson State for the 2nd time today. Henderson State comes in with a 12-6 record, 7-5 in the GAC. Meanwhile, SNU 17-3 overall, and they have moved back into first place in the GAC at 10-2. Some of those kind of, I don't know if I want to call it a slump per se, but they've kind of gotten out of this little, whatever you want to call it, that they were kind of in that little mid-season. Some people want to say it's like boredom. I don't even know if I'd call it that. So, but they have done just a terrific job kind of regrouping here, and they've been playing some great basketball as of yet throughout this 5-game winning streak. And they're looking to keep it going here today as we take a look at today's starting lineups. As we said, Henderson State coming in. Their lineup's going to look like this. Wearing number 2, a sophomore guard out of Plano, Texas. Number 2, Chris Parker. At guard, a senior from Memphis. Number 4, Joshua Jones. At forward, a senior from Wilson, North Carolina. Number 5, Terrence Parker. At forward, a junior from Memphis, Tennessee. Number 13, Mike Fofana. And finally at guard, a junior from Louisville, Kentucky. Wearing number 24, it is Rel Johnson. Again, that's Parker, Jones, Parker, Fofana, and Johnson. That is the starting 5 today for the Henderson State Reddies. On the other side, same lineup we've been seeing for SNU as of late. A junior from OKC, the point guard, number 3, Micah Spate. Your other guard, wearing number 15, can also play the point guard. A senior from Mansfield, Texas, Zach Johnson. Your wing, your 3, a San Antonio. He is the guard at 6'4", number 25, Jonathan Dunn. At forward, from Bryan, Texas, he is a senior, and he wears number 22, and he's Quaylen Newton as he continues to work his way back. And finally, at center, the big man, a senior out of Hutchinson, Kansas, 6'11", 250 pounds, number 32, Noah Starkey. Your head coaches, Jimmy Elgis on one side. And on the other side, Adam Bohach in his 11th season. The 2 head coaches set to square off as we are almost set to go here in the Duke Wells Center. I mentioned with the women, they go to 9-4 in the season. They are now number 2 in the GAC. What a win for them earlier today. And so the Nazarenes going to look to continue to stay in control as they are the top team in the GAC currently, and they're looking to stay there as of right now. We're about set to go here. Starting 5 on the floor. Noah Starkey's going to get ready, as he will have the jump here in a minute. Got a little Kendrick Lamar, Mad City going, getting the crowd up a little bit. I think it's getting the players up just as much. I think the SNU players are definitely enjoying a little bit of Kendrick here. And the 2 teams are out on the floor, and we are set to go. And the tip will go to SNU, and we are underway. Micah Spate going to bring it forward here for the Crimson Storm. They'll kick it out to Spate again at the wing. Spate going to come off a screen from Starkey. He'll go to Zach Johnson. Johnson trying to go inside to Noah Starkey. He'll go to Newton, moves it to Jonathan Dunn at the wing. Oh, Dunn, nice jab step. He'll step in, long two-pointer, good. Jonathan Dunn just like that on the board, and it's 2-0 SNU. Good ball movement there for the Crimson Storm early on. Parker with it. He will get it to Jones. That is Josh Jones. They're going to throw an alley-oop, and it is missed. It is a missed alley-oop. They were looking for Fofana. The rebound comes to Dunn. Zach Johnson on the other end. Misses the layup, and Noah Starkey throws it down on the putback. 4-0 SNU. And that is the start you want if you're the Crimson Storm. They'll move it around to Parker. Moves it back to Johnson. Johnson going to get it to Fofana. Fofana, tough jumper, no good. Starkey with the rebound. Good defense by Noah Starkey. SNU looks sharp here in the first minute. Micah Spate going to come off a screen. Spate going to go to Quaylen Newton. Newton gets bumped, goes back to Spate. Three-pointer in the corner. Off the mark. Rebound from Parker. That was Terrence Parker with the rebound. Johnson on the other end goes right at Starkey and lays it in. They'll get it into Micah Spate. Jonathan Dunn's going to bring it forward. As Spate ties his shoe, we're good to go now. 4-2 your score early on. SNU on top. Newton going to hand off to Spate. Goes over to Johnson in the corner. To Newton. They're trying to get inside to Starkey if they can. Johnson going to drive. Goes to Dunn. He's open for three. It's good. Jonathan Dunn. 5 points here early on. 7-2 SNU. Parker coming the other end. Chris Parker gets it to Jones. They're going to move it around to Johnson. Johnson with Johnson defending. They kick it back out to Jones. Jones going to drive and kick to Parker. Stepped on the line, out of bounds, and it's going the other way to SNU. So 7-2 your score early on, 17:42 to play. Here in the first half, we see it still says fourth quarter there on our scoreboard. It is actually the first half. And now coming the other way will be Micah Spate. Gets it to Zach Johnson, top of the arc. Johnson going to go back to Spate. Spate from the wing, three-pointer. Front iron, no good. Rebound by Quaylen Newton. He kicks it back to Spate. Spate going to come off a screen. Dribbles it forward, kicks it out to Johnson. Johnson going to go inside to Noah Starkey. Starkey back out to Spate. Spate pump fakes. Spate going to drive towards the baseline. Goes to Johnson. He'll go to Dunn. Dunn looking for Newton, and they're going to get an offensive foul. It's going to be on Newton. I guess they're going to get him for a hook there, as they were trying to get the entry pass into him. First on Newton. Back the other way comes Parker. Parker going to hand it off to Jones. They'll go to Johnson. Rel Johnson with it. Goes inside to Jones. Mid-range jumper blocked. It was blocked by Dunn. Goes out of bounds. SNU basketball. Jonathan Dunn comes skying across and sends Jones a shot. And then a scramble for the ball goes off of Henderson State, and it's going back to the Crimson Storm. Spate brings it forward. Spate to Johnson. Johnson. Going to go to Dunn. Dunn going to drive baseline, kicks it over to Johnson. Johnson inside to Starkey. Starkey moving the paint, and an easy lay-in for Noah Starkey. The lead out to 9-2. Chris Parker with it. Parker off a screen from Terrence Parker. They'll go out to Rel Johnson with Zach Johnson defending. Another screen from Parker coming up. Johnson tries to drive, kicks it, and it's thrown away. Tried to hand it back to Fofana. And the basketball's with me right now. And Newton will set the inbound. Now, SNU using some sharp defense. We're going to see some substitutions into the game. Number 32, Raekwon Rogers. You got 0, Anthony Lupardis. 51, Tanner Hamilton. So a couple subs into the game early on for Henderson State as they are down 9-2. Micah Spate brings it forward, gets it to Newton. Newton going to go to Johnson. Newton back with it. He's going to go inside to Starkey. Starkey goes up. Starkey is fouled, and he's going to go to the line for two. Great entry pass there by Quaylen Newton as we're going to see our first timeout on the floor. It is all SNU early on as they lead Henderson State 9-2. 16 minutes to play here in the first half. SNU leading Henderson State 9-2, the 15th ranked team in the nation, looking to make it 6 straight games as they've been on a roll as of late at 17-3 on the season and 10-2 in the GAC, currently tops in the conference. Noah Starkey is at the line for a pair of free throws. Starkey, the senior out of Hutchinson, Kansas. First free throw is up and off the mark. Despite being 6'11", Starkey is a good free throw shooter for his size. He's at 70% on the season, 61 of 87. Second on the team, 14.5 points per game to go with a team-leading 7.7 rebounds. Second free throw is up and good, and is now a 10-2 lead for Southern Nazarene. Chris Parker is going to bring it forward here for Henderson State, and he's going to travel. He picked up his dribble, and then his pivot foot went up as he was looking to get it to Johnson. Great denial there. I believe it was Quaylen Newton who had the denial. And some substitutions into the game for Southern Nazarene. We're going to see number 1, R.J. Palmer, the senior from Tampa, into the game. And then number 10, the senior out of Sugar Land, Texas, Coleman Edwards. Jonathan Dunn has it at the wing. He's going to move it around to Coleman Edwards. Edwards with Johnson defending, gets it back to Dunn. Dunn going to drive baseline, spins, goes to R.J. Palmer. He goes up and lays it in, and one. R.J. Palmer took the pass, went strong to the basket, drew the foul, and he has a chance for a three-point play. Beautiful move there by Palmer, and a good entry pass from Dunn. Palmer's fourth on the team, 8.2 points per game. Struggles from the free throw line, though. Only 56% on the season, but he is a 52% shooter from the field. That one is no good. Rel Johnson will pull the rebound down, and back the other way come to Reddy's. Down 12-2 here early on. Johnson with it, Dunn defending. Johnson's going to call off a screen from Parker, and it's an offensive foul. Terrence Parker moving on the screen. It's going the other way. Well, now they're saying it's Henderson basketball. And they're calling a foul on Dunn. I don't see where the foul from Dunn was. I didn't really think it was a moving screen either. I didn't think there was really anything. I'm not sure why the whistle was even blown. Coach Adam Bohach not happy whatsoever with that call. Parker going to go deep, almost taken away. And it will be taken away. Johnson can't save it as Dunn went up. Dunn went over to the official just to have a talk to see what he did, and they got that cleared out. And so it's SNU basketball again. Defense again, king right now for SNU. Spate with it, goes to Dunn at the wing. Dunn going to pull up long, I believe a two-pointer. It is good. Jonathan Dunn right now up to 7 points, 3 for 3 from the field, and a 14-2 lead for the Crimson Storm. Parker going to come off a screen from Parker. Long two-pointer. Great closeout there by Micah Spate after getting screened. And they call it travel. How in the world was that a travel? Spate was falling out of bounds. He never moved his feet. That is not a good call. And Chris Parker will set the inbound as Henderson gets it back. You can see Micah Spate word, wow. Johnson going to go cross-court to Lupartis. And a fresh 30 here for the Reddies. Lupartis off a screen. Going to kick it to Parker. Parker now going to drive. Goes up. I think it was tipped there by Starkey. Starkey may have got a piece of it. Spate coming the other way. Spate going to drive. Goes up. His shot gets blocked, but he gets his own rebound. Kicks it to Coleman Edwards. Three-pointer. Good! Coleman Edwards for three. Time out on the floor. It is all SNU here in the first 15 minutes as they lead Henderson State 17-2. And it is a 30-second timeout. We will keep it here. And it's the same story for SNU. You knew if this offense could get rolling like you knew they were capable of, they were going to be the same dangerous team that we've seen all season long. Not only has this offense gotten going, 7 of 11 right now, shooting 64% from the field. The defense has been even better. Henderson right now 1 of 6 from the field, only 17% with 4 turnovers in the first 5 minutes. This SNU defense is locked in right now. And Coleman Edwards buries that three, and it is a 13-0 run for Southern Nazarene in the last 3:28. And so Henderson State set to inbound. I think they only have 4 guys on the court. Now a 5th one jogs out, which is Josh Jones just coming back into the game. Morel Johnson's going to bring it forward. You also had Jeremiah Toney into the game for Henderson State. Ashton Charles checking into the game for SNU. Lupartis is going to go to Jones. Jones going to kick it to the wing where Lupartis is. Lupartis looking to drive. Coleman Edwards defending man-to-man defense from SNU. Lupartis, top of the arc, tries to drive, picks his dribble up, goes to Jones. Jones going to drive, elbow shot with Dunn all over him, no good. The rebound by Parker. Parker goes up, offensive foul as he goes right into R.J. Palmer. And we're heading the other way. And we've got, I believe, a bench warning. I don't believe it was a technical, but I believe they got a bench warning on head coach Jimmy Elgis for Henderson State. R.J. Palmer may have gotten away with one there. He looked like he kind of took just a little bit of contact and went backwards, but it was enough to draw the charge call. And it is dominant performance thus far. As we said, Charles checks into this game wearing number 33, a sophomore on this team out of Spring, Texas. Really coming on lately. He struggled early in the year, but starting to see some shots go down for Charles. Spate looking to drive, comes off a screen, drives into the paint, goes inside to Palmer. Palmer tries to find Charles, and it's knocked away by Jones. Will remain SNU basketball with 13 seconds on the shot clock. Right now you got Spate, Palmer, Charles, Dunn, and Edwards on the floor for Southern Nazarene. Spate to inbound. Gets it to Charles. Charles, short little jumper off the front iron, no good. Rebound by Toney. Jeremiah Toney, long athlete here. Gets it to Jones. Jones will kick it to Lupartis. Lupartis going to come off a screen. Lupartis drives, goes up. Looked like it was maybe blocked, but I believe they're going to get a foul on Coleman Edwards from behind. And it will be on Edwards. That'll be his first. 3rd team foul on SNU, and it's going to be a couple free throws here for Henderson State as Anthony Lupartis, a junior guard out of Lee's Summit, Missouri, goes to the line. Lupartis, 5th on the team with 8.9 points per game as he misses the first free throw. Lupartis is actually a 77% free throw shooter. Not bad from the line, but he can't connect on the first. Henderson as a team shoots 68%. He misses both. Boy, it is an ice-cold start here for Henderson State. Down by 15 on their home floor. Charles with the top of the arc goes to Dunn. Dunn's been the red-hot hand so far. Dunn goes to Micah Spate, top of the arc. Spate going to go to Coleman Edwards. Edwards is wide open for three. He's going to take it and knock it down. Coleman Edwards for three. Nobody was on him. He's like, all right, I'll just knock it down. And he's got 6 off the bench. It's a 20-2 lead for SNU. Lupartis goes to Jones. Jones at the wing, comes off a screen. Jones will kick it to Tony. Tony takes a step in, long two-pointer, way off the mark. Charles affected that shot. Spate with the rebound. Micah Spate brings it forward, hands off to Dunn. Dunn, couple crossover moves, now drives, goes to down the baseline, tough shot, well off. Lupartis with the rebound. Lupartis going to try to take on 1-on-2 and now decides to pull it out wisely. And he will go deep to Rel Johnson. And Henderson State will reset down by 18. Lupartis looking to drive. And they're going to get a foul on Edwards. That's going to be 2. That will be on the floor, I believe, so it'll be baseline out of bounds. Substitutions into the game. Chris Parker back into the game for Henderson State. Adrian McConnell, 6'9", freshman, into the game. And Fofana also back into the game for Henderson State. Meanwhile, for SNU, Noah Starkey will return, as well as Zach Johnson with 12:24 to play in the first half. Parker's going to get it to Lupartis. He'll take a 3 from the corner. No good. And there'll be a foul on the floor. And that's going to actually be on Starkey, so it'll stay Henderson State basketball. For Starkey, that is his first. Starkey was battling Adrian McConnell. He's 6'9", 195, but he's got the size to stay with Starkey. Just doesn't quite have the weight. We're going to get another foul off the ball. That's already going to be 16 fouls on SNU. SNU has a big lead, but there's one way Henderson can get back into this game. It's getting to the free throw line, so SNU's got to do a better job here not fouling. The next one's to the free throw line. They try an alley-oop. They tried an alley-oop for Fofana, and it went off the head of Johnson. If you're Henderson, you're down 20-2. I don't know if now's the time for alley-oops. They'll go inside to Starkey. Starkey, nice move in the post, but misses off the back iron. And the rebound to Fofana. Parker's going to go ahead to Lupartis. Lupartis going to take a three-pointer, well off the mark. Rebound, though, to Fofana. Knocked away by Johnson. He goes up. Oh, and he's rejected. Lupartis rejected by Starkey. And back the other way comes SNU. Zach Johnson with it. Johnson to Ashton Charles, top of the arc. He hands it off to Edwards. Edwards back to Charles. Charles inside to Starkey. Starkey goes up, lays it in over McConnell, and it is a 20-point lead for SNU. Chris Parker brings it forward. Gets it to Joshua Jones. They'll get it to McConnell. McConnell will go to Lupartis. Been a tough little stretch here for Lupartis in the last few minutes. Fofana, top of the arc. Long two-pointer off the mark, no good. Zach Johnson with the rebound. Well, SNU has taken this crowd completely out of the game. Johnson crosses over, goes to Dunn. Dunn, he crosses over and goes to Charles, top of the arc. Charles going to hand off to Edwards. Edwards pulls back, goes to Starkey. Up, foul, and one. Noah Starkey will go to the line for a chance at a three-point play. 10:54 to play in the first half. And it is an absolutely dominating performance from Southern Nazarene. They lead Henderson State 24-2. That is not a mistake. It is 24-2 in the first 9 minutes. We are going to break. We'll be right back. 10:54 to play in the first half. Southern Nazarene, the 15th ranked team in the nation, leading Henderson State 24-2. This was a 12-point win for SNU. Take that back, an 8-point win for SNU in Bethany. This was a tough game in Bethany, and SNU has come out and they are dominating every facet of the game right now. They are 10 of 17 from the field, including 3 for 5 from behind the arc. Henderson State's right now 1 of 12 with 6 turnovers. SNU leading the rebounding 11-7. And assists 6-0 as Starkey completes the three-point play to make it 25-2. Kyle Murphy's into the game for Henderson State as they try to get something going. They're going to move it to Fofana at the top of the arc. He'll hand it back off to Chris Parker. Parker looking to drive, spins, and he's back out to reset. He comes off a screen from Terrence Parker, picks up his dribble, and goes back out to Murphy. Murphy off a screen, goes to Fofana. Fofana going to work on Newton. Newton just back into the game, and finally, Henderson State ends a 21-0 run by SNU as they make it 25-4. Chris Stevens also into the game for SNU. He gets it over to Zach Johnson. Johnson to Noah Starkey. Starkey to Stevens. They're going to move it to Micah Spate, top of the arc. Spate going to drive. Spate going to go to Quaylen Newton. Little floater in the paint is good from Newton. And another assist for Micah Spate. He's up to 4 so far in the first half. Fofana at the top of the arc, going to hand it off to Parker. Parker going to take a three-pointer. Good, with Micah Spate in his face. So Henderson State finally starting to get a little bit of offense going. They make it 27-7. Parker hit, that was a very tough shot there. Got to get a little bit confidence going. Newton on the other end, drives, gets Fofana in the air and gets a block. Big block there from Fofana, who pulls the rebound down. And maybe a little momentum finally for Henderson. Parker going to go up, tough shot, and gets it to fall. You can hear the crowd trying to get a little bit of life. Coach Bohach going to settle his men down as they still lead by 18, 27-9. But Henderson, out of that timeout, you see a little bit, maybe a little fire here finally from the Reddies on their home floor. Spate going to come off a couple screens. He'll pull up for 3 and fire. Off the mark, no good. Rebound by Parker. Fofana going to bring it forward. Fofana going to drive. Puts it up, no good. Great defense from Newton. Here comes Chris Stevens on the other end. Stevens going to slow it up. Goes to Micah Spate. Goes back to Stevens. He's open for 3 in the corner. Back iron, no good. Long rebound comes out to Chris Parker. Parker going to take another 3. Front iron, no good. Newton with the rebound. A little collision between 2 Henderson players. And back the other way comes Micah Spate. He'll kick it to Stevens. He'll try again for 3. Now a back iron again. 2 really good looks from Chris Stevens. Usually knocks those down. Murphy going to drive. Goes up, foul, charge. Murphy goes right at Spate. Spate was set up, not moving. He ran right over Spate. And it's an offensive foul, an easy one, as R.J. Palmer and Jonathan Dunn are going to check back into the game. Meanwhile, Raekwon Rogers into the game for Henderson State, as well as Jeremiah Toney. 27-9 is the score. Micah Spate will bring it forward here for SNU, leading by 18. They'll come off a screen from Starkey, go to R.J. Palmer. Trying to get inside to Starkey. They're going to get a travel. That's the second traveling call that I'm not sure where they're getting a traveling call from. R.J. Palmer's pivot foot never moved. That is 2 very questionable traveling violations. And R.J. Palmer is sitting there arguing that, yeah, my pivot foot never moved, and it can't be a travel. Nonetheless, it's Henderson State basketball. Murphy's going to have it. He'll move it over to Rogers, top of the arc. Back to Parker. Chris Parker with it. Almost gets it taken away, but maintains possession. Now he's going to come off a screen, drive, kicks, and throws it away. He was looking for Chris Owens, and he just overshot him. They're arguing that Dunn tipped it. I don't know if he did or not. But we're going to timeout with 7:55 to play in the first half. Southern Nazarene leads Henderson State 27-9.
The Great American Conference Basketball Championship Tournament returns to the Bruin Fieldhouse in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, March 7th through the 10th. It's all on the line as the league's top teams battle for the conference title and an automatic spot in the NCAA Division II Basketball Regionals. For ticket information and to follow GAC basketball throughout the season, visit GreatAmericanConference.com. The GAC Basketball Tournament, March 7th through the 10th.
Army Reserve soldiers use their skills to make the Army even more capable and gain the tools to make themselves even more successful. Learn how at GoArmyReserve.com.
27-9 your score, 7:55 to play in the first half. As we said, it's been all Southern Nazarene. They have led by as many as 23 so far in the first half. They have led from the tip. Palmer, Starkey, Dunn, Johnson, and Spate on the floor for SNU. As they are 11 of 22 from the field and holding Henderson to 4 of 17 with 8 turnovers. It has been as dominant of a 12 minutes as we've seen from SNU this season. As Micah Spate will take the inbound pass, and here come the Crimson Storm. Moving forward here, Spate going to cross over. He looks to drive. Now he'll come off a screen from Palmer. Now he gets it to Palmer. They'll go inside to Starkey. Starkey goes up in the lane, no good. And the rebound will come down to Tony. SNU's missed their last couple of shots, now 0 for 5 on their last 5 attempts. Johnson going to take a really tough runner, no good. And the rebound will come out to Jonathan Dunn. And they call another traveling call. Dunn never had possession. There is no way it can be a traveling call. That is 3 questionable traveling calls. Dunn was picking the ball up off the floor, and somehow he gets nailed for a travel. That is the third travel. That might be all 3 turnovers so far. They'll go inside, and going up and laying it in is Rel Johnson, and it's 27-11, because for some reason, every time SNU has the ball, it's being called for traveling. SNU's going to have to adjust to that if they're going to be so harsh on it. Palmer going to back down. Long two-pointer. What a shot by R.J. Palmer just inside the free throw line. A little baby hook there. The lead back out to 18. Parker going to bring it forward for Henderson. Parker off a screen. Nice rub there by Charles. Parker splits 2 defenders. Gets it taken away. And they get a late foul. And what looked like a steal going the other way for SNU. They're going to get it on Charles, his second. And it's now free throws for Henderson from here on out. Parker goes to the line. He's one of the best free throw shooters on this team behind only Josh Jones. He is 82% from the line this season. And they'll have a 1-and-1 right here. First one's up and no good. R.J. Palmer with the rebound, gets it to Micah Spates. So far, Henderson State 0 for 3 at the free throw line. As Johnson will take the handoff. A little bit of a weave here from SNU as they move it. Spate going to come off a screen from Palmer. Kicks it to Johnson. Johnson off a screen from Palmer. Johnson going to go deep to Palmer in a mess of a situation. He's going to go to Tony. He's going to go for a jam. Almost had it blocked, but got the lay-in. Boy, I thought Charles had the block like last second. Tony aborted the dunk and went for the lay-in, but it's down to 16. SNU, after looking so good, has looked really sloppy here in the last 5 minutes. Spate with it. Spate off a screen. Goes to Palmer. Blocked. Blocked by Rogers. And we get a technical foul. Raekwon Rogers, talking a lot of mess after that block, gets teed up. And I was talking with Coach Butts, and we talk about winning culture and losing culture, and that right there is the definition sometimes of losing culture. When you make a tremendous play, and Rogers made a tremendous play, and instead of getting back down the floor to play defense, he gets teed up with a technical foul. And that's just something, when you're down by 16, you can't do that. If you want to make some sort of comeback, those are the type of plays you cannot do in those situations, and he's going to check out of the game, understandably so. As he said, it was an outstanding block. That's highlight film material. As Micah Spate's free throw rattles out. He has one more coming up. Micah Spate a little off so far, 0 for 4 from the field. He's got one more free throw. As SNU, as we said, they've gone a little cold here. That one is good. I believe it will now be SNU basketball because of it as well. Nope, they're going to say Henderson basketball since it was after the SNU possession and Henderson had regained possession. First point of the game for Spate, and it's back to 30-13. Parker with it. Goes to Rel Johnson. They'll go to Terrence Parker at top of the arc. They're going to go inside to Johnson. Johnson going to back his man down. Johnson goes up, misses the shot badly. And they're going to say it remains Henderson ball on a scramble for the basketball as Noah Starkey's going to check back in. He'll check in for R.J. Palmer. He's going to get a lot of dap on the bench as he went for that dunk. It just did not work out for him in that situation. Parker going to go to Jones. Jones goes back to Rel Johnson. Henderson will reset. Johnson going to take a three-pointer with a man in his face. Long rebound to Dunn. And it's taken away by Tony, and then he gets it rejected. And then he throws it in the air, and Henderson somehow regains possession. All the traveling calls they've called, I don't know how that wasn't one. Jones going to take a three off the mark. Noah Starkey skies and gets the rebound. Wild possession there. Dunn going to take a long two. Good. Jonathan Dunn again. He's up to 9 in this contest, only behind Starkey with 10. Parker on the other end looking to drive. Good defense by Micah Spate. He'll get it to Jones. Jones, long two-pointer. Good. Right over the hand of Dunn. Henderson's starting to make some shots now. See if they can put together a run to try and get back into this. And Southern Nazarene has dominated thus far, though they have started to cool off a bit. Spate off a screen. Spate looking to go inside to get it to Coleman Edwards. Coleman throws it away. He's looking to go inside to Starkey, and it's a turnover on SNU. That is actually their 6th turnover. 3 of them have been on some really questionable traveling calls, but it's still 6 turnovers nonetheless. Chris Parker with it. Parker off a screen from Terrence Parker. He looks to drive, spins, gets it taken away by Quaylen Newton. Newton coming on the other end. Newton tries to jam it, and it just comes out. Rebound, though, to Dunn. Dunn will get it to Spate. He'll go inside to Starkey. Starkey goes up, foul, and 1, Noah Starkey. Boy, that would have been a massive slam. Newton actually got it over the defender and almost threw it down. And we are going to timeout. Noah Starkey's going to come out of timeout again for a chance of a three-point play. 3:57 to play in the first half. Number 15, SNU, leads Henderson State 34-15.
Army Reserve soldiers use their skills to make the Army even more capable and gain the tools to make themselves even more successful. Learn how at GoArmyReserve.com.
Okay, guys, remember, no hard selling, no high pressure. Serenading, good. Leave that to Sheldon, all right? Hugs, side hugs. Normal. People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. You know, these guys may not look like much, but they are some of the greatest guys.
How about a hug?
Diffie, driven by family since 1954.
3:57 here to play in the first half. It has been all Southern Nazarene as they lead 34-15 over Henderson State. Noah Starkey's coming out of the timeout as he will look to complete a three-point play. Starkey already up to 12 points in this game to go with 6 boards and 2 blocks. He's just absolutely dominating in the paint. And Jonathan Dunn's right behind him with 9 points on 4 or 5 shooting to go with 3 rebounds. And it's really been an impressive first half. Coleman Edwards, 6 points off the bench. He remains on the floor. We saw Quaylen Newton just now. He tried to throw down a massive slam and just couldn't get it to fall. He got up over his man, but just the dunk would not go down. We have timeout on the floor. I think there was a little bit of blood on the floor. They got Starkey bandaged up. Just a little cut on his elbow, but he seems to be good. Both teams at 17 fouls. That means free throws from here on out for either side on any foul. Starkey has one coming up. It is up, and it is good. 35-15, Southern Nazarene leading Henderson State. Johnson with it for Henderson State with Edwards defending. He comes off a screen. He's going to come off a second screen from Fofana. He'll kick it out in the corner. Three-pointer on the way and good from Parker. Parker's the one man they got to keep an eye on. He's the one who was dangerous in the meeting in Bethany as he cuts it down to 17. Coleman Edwards with it, gets it to Jonathan Dunn. Dunn going to come off a screen. Dunn going to throw it up. Just a bad pass. It's taken away by Fofana. Parker comes away with it. Parker will drive, and it's an offensive foul. Parker runs right over Coleman Edwards. Parker's arguing his case. That is his first, and that is his sixth turnover in the first half. As Murphy is going to check back in. Parker very frustrated by that call, and that one, the first two were definitely charges. That one, you definitely had an argument that you could call that a block, and he thought he had an and one right there. That was not the case. Spate with it. He'll bring it forward. Del Johnson defending. He'll come off a screen from Starkey. They'll get screened again. They'll go inside to Newton. Newton lays it in. Beautiful entry pass from Micah Spate. He's up to 6 assists so far here in the first half. Rel Johnson with it. Under 3 to play in the first half. SNU leads by 19. They've led by as many as 23. They'll go inside to Tony. Tony going to kick it out. Long two-pointer from Fofana, no good. Rebound to Spate. Spate drives. Spate goes up, looking for a call, doesn't get it. Starkey gets the rebound, though. Now Dunn will drive baseline. He throws it away again. Dunn, a couple questionable passes there. Murphy picks that one off. Rel Johnson kicks it out to Fofana. Fofana goes up and it's sent back. Oh, and they call a foul. They get the foul on Dunn. It looked like a clean block from here, but it's going to be 2 free throws for Fofana. Fofana, 4th on the team, 10.3 points per game. He's a 69% free throw shooter. The first one is up and good. He also leads the team with 7.7 rebounds per game as Zach Johnson's into the game for Jonathan Dunn, since that was his second. Coleman Edwards also on the floor with 2 fouls, but he is off the bench. Fofana hits both. 37-20 now as Chris Parker back into the game. So SNU started out red hot, led 25-2 at one point. It's been pretty even from there. Henderson's kind of settled down and really more than anything has gotten some shots to fall. Stopped turning the ball over quite so much. They're up to 10 now. SNU, though, uncharacteristically up to 8. High turnovers for SNU, not really like them. Spate with it, almost gets it taken away. Goes to Newton. Newton going to drive baseline, goes up, and it gets blocked by Fofana. And then Henderson State can't corral it. Under 2 to play now in the first half. Fofana with another block there. That's his second, I believe. Johnson to inbound. Micah Spate going to take a 3 from the corner on the inbounds. Well off the mark. Newton, though, with the rebound. Gets it back to Spate. He'll go to Zach Johnson. Goes to Edwards in the corner. Edwards going to drive. Goes up. That one's blocked. But Newton's there for the rebound. SNU can't get a shot to fall there. Numerous chances, and they go away with no points. Johnson to Fofana. Fofana right at Starkey and lays it in. And I love the way SNU played the first 10 minutes. I have not been the case in the last 10. It's still a 15-point lead, but Henderson's building a little bit of momentum here before half. And I think wisely, Micah Spate's going to take a timeout to try to settle things down a little bit. It has not been a pretty last, I'd say, 8 minutes here for SNU. Suddenly they have cooled off mightily. They're down to 44% shooting. Only 3 of 9 from deep. They're also only 4 of 7 from the free throw line so far. See if they can kind of settle down. They're trying to go into paint. They've actually had a couple of their shots sent back with the exception of Noah Starkey. But Starkey's been dominating this game with 13 points. If you're SNU, you really want to try to close this minute 15 out strong and don't let Henderson creep any closer with the second half coming up. So Zach Johnson to inbound. He'll go to Quaylen Newton. He goes to Micah Spate. Spate looking to drive. Will go to Coleman Edwards. Coleman Edwards going to come off a screen. Edwards to Johnson. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Zach Johnson. Oh, he was looking for Newton. Almost thrown away. Spate comes up with it. 3 seconds. He chucks up a three. No good. Another bad possession for SNU. Almost resulted in a turnover, and Parker coming the other way. Fofana's going to take a three-pointer. It's good. As good as SNU started this game, they are finishing extremely poorly here in the first half, and they're letting Henderson, leaving the door wide open for them to get back into this. Johnson with it. We'll go to Micah Spate. You kind of hear the crowd getting back into it a little bit as well. Starkey goes up, hasn't knocked away by Fofana. He's been the difference maker, really, in this first half. Johnson now, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Johnson gets his men in the air, puts it up, and gets it off the backboard. Zach Johnson gets it to fall, 10 seconds to go. Chris Parker with it. Parker going to come off the screen for Fofana, takes a three-pointer. It's good. And this team's fired up. It was about as good a start for SNU, but about as bad a finish to that first half. They're going to have to make some adjustments because Henderson State closed that half very, very strong, and they're going to have some momentum going in to the second half. However, Southern Nazarene still leads at 39-28. We'll take a break. We'll give you the halftime show towards the end of the half. We'll give you some first half analysis and get you ready for the second half of play.
Conference Basketball Championship Tournament returns to the Bruin Fieldhouse in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, March 7th through the 10th. It's all on the line as the league's top teams battle for the conference title and an automatic spot in the NCAA Division II Basketball Regionals. For ticket information and to follow GAC basketball throughout the season, visit GreatAmericanConference.com. The GAC Basketball Tournament, March 7th through the 10th. The Great
Halftime here in Arkadelphia. Southern Nazarene now ahead 39-28. They've led by as many as 23 in this contest. However, the Reddies have stormed back. Finished the first half really strong and have a little bit of momentum going into the second half. SNU, though, still very loose as they shoot around and know that they still have an 11-point advantage. They are still in control, and they're going to look to close this one out in the second half. Some first half numbers for you. SNU shoots 44% from the field. Cooled down quite a bit. They were up to 64% in the first 10 minutes. That was one of the differences in the second half. They really cooled down. 3 of 10 from behind the arc, 4 of 7 at the free throw line. On the other end, Henderson State 11 of 30 from the field, 4 of 8 from behind the arc, and 2 of 5 from the free throw line. SNU actually, or they do hold the rebound advantage 21-17, 9-4 advantage in assists. They forced 10 turnovers in the first half, but one of the things that helped Henderson get back into this game was 8 turnovers in that first half from Southern Nazarene. They struggled a little bit holding on to the ball late in the half. They're going to have to kind of clean that up a little bit here in the second half. And you imagine they most likely will. They one of the best teams in the conference, even in the nation, when it comes to turnover margin and turnovers per game. For SNU, big first half for Noah Starkey with 13 points, 7 boards, and 2 blocks. Jonathan Dunn adds 9 points and 3 rebounds. And if you're looking at plus minuses, one that stands out when Jonathan Dunn's been on the floor, he is plus 22. Nobody else is even in double figures. Jonathan Dunn is plus 22 when he is in the game, so they need Dunn to stay on the floor despite having 2 fouls. Mike Spade had a tough first half. See if he can bounce back in the second half. He went 0 for 7 from the field. However, a couple of 3-pointers from Coleman Edwards as he had 6 points. On the other side, it's Chris Parker leading the way. He got the rally started. He connected on 3 3-pointers, and he is up to 11 points in the first half. Fofana also got it going as he added 9 points in the first half. So if you're SNU, just, let a little bit of a flurry go in the second half and just got to clamp down again on that defensive end and get some shots to fall again, get some good looks at the bucket. If you're Henderson State, you finally got a little bit of momentum. Can you build off of it? That'll be the question. So it'll be an interesting second half. And I think this first 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes of this second half is going to be very, very telling as where the rest of this game goes. If SNU, if they get started like they started the first half, this game will probably be over. However, if Henderson can get a couple buckets, get it down to 4, 5, 6 points, we're going to have ourselves the ball game the rest of the way. So number 14, Southern Nazarene, they're going to come out, as we said, leading 39-28. It's actually going to be Henderson State basketball coming out, so they have a chance to cut it under 10 the first time since very early in the first half. The lineups are the same except for Henderson State has Chris Owens starting the second half instead of Joshua Jones. They also have Tony, I should say. Jeremiah Tony's also starting the second half. As Rel Johnson will take it forward. Same starting 5 for SNU. Spate, Johnson, Dunn, Starkey, and Newton. Johnson goes to the lane, puts up a layup and lays it in, and folks, it's under 10 now. Henderson State has clawed back into this one. That's going to be a foul, easy foul on Owens as he just kind of put a shoulder into Johnson. The first foul on Owens. You can hear that. And now they changed the call to an illegal screen. That is egregious. That is horrible. How in the world can you call that an illegal screen? That is awful. Owens put his shoulder down and ran over Zach Johnson, and somehow they call that an illegal screen. That is atrocious by the officiating crew. They've had a few so far in this game that have been very questionable, really on both sides. They get it to Fofana. Fofana, a long two-pointer off the mark. Owens with the rebound, can't get it to fall. And Newton with the board, and they're going to get a foul this time on Tony unless they decide to change it again in the middle of the call. This time they do call it on Tony. I think they got it straight this time. So back the other way comes Southern Nazarene. Again, their lead that was as big as 23 has been cut to 9 now. And we said this is a good Henderson State team. They gave SNU a lot of trouble in Bethany before Jonathan Dunn took the game over. Johnson with it. And you can see a much more active defense as they're going to go inside to Noah Starkey, who slams it home. Great entry pass there from Micah Spate. And the lead back out to 11. See if SNU can string together a couple of stops again. They're going to try to go to Johnson. Zach Johnson knocks it away. They'll go to Fofana, top of the arc. Fofana back to Parker, almost threw it away. Chris Parker, good hands there. Fielded it almost like a shortstop as he was one-hopped. They're going to try to go inside to Johnson. Rel Johnson backing down. Zach Johnson, he's right there with him, and Rel Johnson gets it to fall. That was a very tough shot. Zach Johnson almost got a piece of it. It is a size mismatch. Starkey with it. Kicks it to Johnson. Johnson going to come off a screen. Johnson just pushes Starkey out of the way. No call. They'll go back to Noah Starkey. Foul and one. Noah Starkey just dominating inside the paint. He is up to 17 now, and he has a chance for another three-point play. He's putting his threes in different ways, and they're going to try to keep feeding Noah Starkey. That's on Fofana. That's his first. Starkey's free throw is up. Short. Rebound to Owens. So it'll stay an 11-point game. Chris Parker brings it forward. Hands it off to Owens, who thought was going to hand it off to Johnson. Instead, we'll go to Chris Parker. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Parker off a screen from Fofana. They'll go to Fofana. Fofana goes up, puts a tough layup up and no good. Newton with the rebound. Newton now bringing it forward. Newton going to kick, and a terrible pass there, intercepted by Owens. Just a blind pass there by Newton. On the other end, almost lost by Tony. He misses the lay-in, and Newton pulls it down. This time he gets it to Micah Spade, and SNU will reset. Johnson with it. Johnson will drive. Johnson will kick to Dunn. Dunn back to Johnson, almost taken away, but SNU maintains possession. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Henderson State looks like a different team right now. Dunn, tough baseline jumper, can't get the friendly roll. Newton with the rebound, though, and the lay-in. Great job by Quaylen Newton. Chris Parker brings it forward. SNU's lead back to 13. They'll go to Tony, back to Parker. Chris Parker going to go to Rel Johnson. Johnson going to drive baseline. Almost taken away by Zach Johnson. Then he misses the layup, but gets his own rebound and throws it away. I think was looking for Fofana and missed. Terrence Parker, I should say, one of the starters from the first half, back into the game. Also going to see Raekwon Rogers for the first time since his technical foul. And we're going to see Joshua Jones. So a couple substitutions for Henderson. Meanwhile, R.J. Palmer into the game. He checks in for Newton for SNU. Micah Spate brings it down. Goes R.J. Palmer. Palmer going to go up to Starkey. A bad pass again. I don't know if he's trying to throw an alley or what. Just not a good pass there. Jones will go to Parker. Parker going to drive. That's Chris Parker. Parker loses it. And somehow Rogers comes up with it, and somehow now Johnson comes up with it and lays it in. What in the world is going on? Parker had thrown it away. Nobody was touching it. Johnson came up and got it and took it to the rack. Dunn with it. Dunn trying to go to R.J. Palmer. SNU has got to stop forcing it. Johnson then tries to throw a skip pass across, and it's almost taken away. Sloppy play again. SNU just has to stop forcing the ball. That is killing them right now. 15:39 to play in the second half. SNU leading Henderson 45-34. SNU maintaining an 11-point lead. Sloppy start, though, for SNU again. They're up to 12 turnovers, 4 already here in the second half, and a lot of it's just been trying to force inside. They have the matchup they want inside, but you can't keep forcing it in there. And that's been part of the problem. They're doing fine defensively. 3 of 8 for Henderson, 3 of 4 for SNU. SNU shooting it well, but they've got to tone down these turnovers. It's what's keeping Henderson in this ball game right now. Chris Parker with it. Rel Johnson's out of the game right now. Raekwon Rogers goes up, strong in the paint, and somehow gets it over Starkey. It was not a pretty shot, but he gets it to fall. It's back to 9 here. Johnson to Palmer. We'll go to Micah Spate. Spate will go inside to Starkey. Starkey goes to Johnson. He's open for 3. Off the mark. Starkey with the rebound goes up and draws the foul. I think fans wanted some sort of traveling call on Noah Starkey. But the way traveling's been called today, I'm probably surprised they didn't get it, to be honest. Starkey's going to go back to the line at 17 points so far with 8 boards and 2 blocks. Coach Bohach. Both coaches Coach Elgis and Coach Bohach both very frustrated with the officiating right now, and I think for probably good reason. First free throw up from Starkey is good. Gets it back to a 10-point game. This is a game, as we said, SNU's led by as many as 23, but they're now in a battle here with the Henderson State Reddies. Second free throw is up. That one is good. And the lead back to 11. Starkey up to 19 points. Chris Parker brings it up. He's going to come off a screen from Jones. Parker now defended by Johnson. I think you got to like that matchup if you're SNU. Parker going to come off another screen. He drives. Good defense. Gets it to Jones. Another switch there. Jones now defended by Parker. Or by Johnson, I should say. Jones looking to drive. Steps back. Long two-pointer. Off the mark. Starkey with the rebound. Kicks it to Micah Spate. Henderson quickly back on defense. Micah Spate takes it. Three-pointer on the way. Good! Micah Spate for 3. His first field goal. And we have a timeout on the floor with 14:28 to play. Adam Bohach loved that there from his point guard. 14:28 to play in the second half. 15th ranked SNU 50. Henderson State 36.
Okay, guys, remember, no hard selling, no high pressure. Serenading, good. Leave that to Sheldon, all right? Hugs, side hugs. Normal. People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. You know, these guys may not look like much, but they are some of the greatest guys.
How about a hug?
Diffie, driven by family since 1954.
American Conference Basketball Championship Tournament returns to the Bruin Fieldhouse in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, March 7th through the 10th. It's all on the line as the league's top teams battle for the conference title and an automatic spot in the NCAA Division II Basketball Regionals. For ticket information and to follow GAC basketball throughout the season, visit GreatAmericanConference.com. The GAC Basketball Tournament, March 7th through the 10th. The Great
14:28 to play here in the second half, 50-36. SNU leading Henderson State. Some interesting news. Rel Johnson, on the last media timeout, he came out of the game. Not sure if it's a cramp or if he pulled something. I think it might be a cramp. They've been trying to get him stretched out. He's drinking a lot of fluids right now. I mean, you can see a lot of sweat coming down. Rel Johnson's the leading scorer on this team at 13.1 points per game, and he's made his impact even so far in the second half. And they're trying to get him back ready to go. I think it's just cramping as he's standing by the bench. Chris Parker brings it up, gets it to Jones. They'll go to Lupardis. Lupardis had a tough first half. He's going to look to try to get it going here in the second half as he gets his first couple minutes. Lupardis going to go to Fofana, back to Lupardis. Lupardis going to come off a screen from Fofana. He puts it up and lays it in. Henderson might have caught a break there. Fofana definitely looked like he was moving a little there on that screen, but they get by with it and get the layup. R.J. Palmer gets it to Jonathan Dunn, goes to Coleman Edwards. Back to Dunn. Dunn going to drive baseline, kicks to R.J. Palmer, and they say he steps out of bounds. You can tell Coach Belhotch has had about enough of the officiating right now as he is just staring at the baseline official. As Parker's going to bring it forward, gets it to Lupardis. Tony top of the arc here for Henderson to Chris Parker. Lupardis top of the arc now. Coleman Edwards defending. Still man-to-man defense has been all game for SNU. Fofana now takes it. They'll go to Chris Parker. Parker trying to drive, almost loses it, takes a tough jumper well off the mark, and a good rebound there by Noah Starkey. Spate coming the other way. Spate to Starkey. Spate going to drive. Spate going to kick. Coleman Edwards open in the corner. He pump fakes, drives, gets knocked to the ground. No call. What is going on? Edwards just got absolutely nailed there. And then on the other end, there's no call as Tony gets nailed, and then they call when Dunn is grabbed. So they don't call on one end, and they don't call anything on the other end. I can't blame both of these coaching staffs right now. So SNU set to inbound. Edwards will be the inbounder, side out of bounds right in front of our desk. Still a 12-point lead for SNU, 13 to play in the second half. RJ will hand it off to Dunn. Dunn will come off the screen from Palmer. Dunn really hasn't put a shot up here in the second half so far. Ashton Charles, who just checked in, takes it. Spate going to come off a screen. Spate steps back, drives, loses it though. Lupardis goes to the ground and gets it to Tony. Tony kicks it to Parker, three-pointer, good. Back the other way comes SNU. 12.5 to play in this game. It's a 9-point game. Ashton Charles with it, goes to Jonathan Dunn at the wing. Dunn going to take a three-pointer, well off the mark. Rebound by Parker. Here comes Henderson. Parker to Lupardis. He drives, lays it in. 7-point game. Timeout SNU. We'll take a timeout with them. 50-43. Southern Nazarene clinging to a lead.
This is where I use the skills I've learned. This is where the moments I love happen. This is where I grew up, and it's also where I serve.
In the U.S. Army Reserve, you train at least 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year. Here, you learn the skills to lead and succeed in life while staying close to home. Part-time service, full-time success. GoArmyReserve.com.
This is where I use the skills.
$50-43 to score. Number 15, Southern Nazarene, leading Henderson State. It has been a Rough second half so far for SNU. It's a 7-0 run right now for Henderson. They're 5 of 7 from the field. SNU in a little bit of a scoring drought right now too, and just don't look good right now. Coach Bohach, as we said, very frustrated right now. Probably a little with his team, a little with the officiating. We're going on the media timeout here shortly, but Henderson is rolling back into this game. Zach Johnson going to bring it forward. This crowd has been rejuvenated. We'll go to Ashton Charles. He's going to take a three-pointer. Can't get it to fall. Oh, Jonathan Dunn comes skying for the rebound, though. And he'll get it back to Johnson. SNU will reset. Edwards goes to Dunn. Dunn, there's no call. Starkey is being held, and there's no call. Literally the easiest call in the world, and somehow there is not a foul call. That has got to be a foul. Starkey was being held on the entry pass. I'm not sure what they're reviewing right now. There is no way that is not a foul every single time. As they entry pass to Starkey, he is being held as obvious as possible. And officials are having a meeting. I'm not sure what's going on right now. We're staying with you through the media timeout just to see what's going on as the media timeout goes on. I don't know if they're reviewing the play or what. And if it somehow remains Henderson State basketball, it is just a stunning missed call there. Just a stunningly egregious missed call. And we'll see what we are coming out of timeout with. I think it's going to remain Henderson ball, and that is just horrific by the officials. And now we have a technical foul on Henderson State. Dunn knocks the free throw down. He's going to have one more. I don't know. They said there was one on Southern Nazarene as well. All I heard was technical foul on Henderson State. Second free throw is no good. And now it's still Henderson basketball after just a completely blown call there. And you get officiating makes human errors. Errors are one thing, but you just can't miss some of these calls at a college level. Fofana's going to take it top of the arc. They're moving around to Owens. Owens will go to Tony. Tony drives, goes up, blocked. Tony gets his own rebound, though. He's going to drive again, goes up, misses. Rebound by Starkey. Good defense there by SNU. Johnson with it. Johnson will kick it to Charles. Charles is going to take a three-pointer off the mark. Starkey tried to go for the putback. It just went over his head. Chris Parker coming the other way. Tipped away and taken away by Charles, and then Dunn will get a push on Tony. That is the 6th-team foul on Henderson State. Henderson State has fought really hard to get back into this game. You got to give them a lot of credit.
Substitution for the Rays, number 32, Raekwon Rogers.
Rogers back into the game. Johnson will go to Coleman Edwards. Edwards back to Johnson. Johnson will go to Edwards. Edwards drives. Baseline jumper's blocked. Rogers with the rebound. Back on the other end. Parker stuck. He's still stuck. Lupardis drives, kicks. Owens with it now. Owens off a screen. Owens going to drive. Owens goes under the basket, hands off to Lupardis. Tough two-pointer, good. This game has flipped on its head, and SNU is in a battle now as they have struggled here. Johnson with it, offensive foul. The smallest man on the court ran over one of the biggest men on the court, and it's an offensive foul. Newton and Spate going to check back in. SNU is in some deep trouble here with 10:03 to play. They still lead by 6, but it is. Henderson is red hot right now. SNU's not shooting bad, but they're up to 16 turnovers, which is towards one of their highs this season. Lupardis with it. Gets it to Parker. Parker going to drive. Kicks back to Owens. 15 seconds on the shot clock. 6-point game now. Owens almost gets it taken away by Dunn. Now 10 seconds on the shot clock. Owens off a screen. Almost loses it. Goes to Rogers. Rogers drives. Blocked, and they get a foul. Just hilariously bad. Two free throws coming up for Rogers. He's a 70% free throw shooter. And it just seems like every call is going against SNU right now as Henderson crawls a bit closer. Crowd is into it. There's a new demeanor from SNU, and now SNU's done this all without their leading scorer, Rel Johnson, who's been cramping up. He is back into the game. Second free throw, good. Well, it's going to be a battle these last 10 minutes, folks. 51-47, SNU's lead has evaporated. Spate to Johnson. Johnson going inside yet again. Starkey is getting absolutely harassed down there and can't get any sort of call. It's another turnover on SNU, but if they're just going to tackle Starkey every time, it's going to keep being a turnover. Johnson with it, pump fakes, Dunn defending. Johnson going to drive, puts a shot up well off the mark. Starkey with the rebound. 9 minutes now remaining in this game. Spate off a screen. He's going to get another one from Starkey. Kicks it to Johnson. Johnson going to drive, kicks it back out to Newton. Newton to Dunn. Dunn going to drive. Dunn puts a shot up, and they're going to get a foul on the floor, and that's going to be free throws for Dunn. It's going to be on Fofana. It'll be a 1-and-1 here for Dunn. Palmer's going to check in for a very frustrated Noah Starkey. Starkey's been big tonight with 19 points and 12 boards in this contest. First free throw, off the mark. And Rogers pulls the rebound down. Johnson off a screen. Johnson going to kick out. Lupardis for three. Good. 1 point game. Done with it at the wing. To Spate. Spate off a screen. Goes to Newton, hands back off to Spate. He nails a three. Big three-pointer from Micah Spate, a huge response, under 8 to play. Back to a 4-point game. SNU needs somebody here to step it up. Really haven't gotten many shots off in the second half. It's been more of the turnovers. Johnson for three, good. Henderson State cannot miss. Everything is going in for the Reddies. It is the complete opposite of the first half. Everything falling. Spate with it. Spate to Johnson. To Palmer. Johnson. Back to Palmer. Goes to Quaylen Newton, and he gets fouled. That'll be on Fofana. Timeout on the floor. 7:20 to play in this game. Southern Nazarene 54, Henderson State 53.
There are those who stand forever ready. Ready to defend the nation. Ready to fight for what matters. No matter what. Do you have what it takes? Find out at goarmy.com/warriors.
Again, fans, baseball season is right around the corner. SNU is going to open the season tomorrow against Southwest Baptist beginning at 2 p.m. Join Phil Younce on the call for opening day beginning on Friday. It'll be a game 1 of a 3-game series coming up. We're on the hardwood right now. SNU clinging to a 54-53 lead as a red-hot Ready team right now. Just cannot miss in the second half. They're actually only 10 of 20. And it feels like they're a lot better than that right now. They're 3 for 3, though, from behind the arc. That's been a big difference so far as a team. They are 7 of 11 from deep. SNU's got to run them off that three-point line. That's where they're getting hurt. SNU, the big thing hurting them is Newton's to the line, 4 free throws, and he misses the first. SNU's up to 17 turnovers in this game. I believe that is a season high. We'll have to double-check that, but one more coming up for Newton. That one is good. And we can confirm that is a season high for SNU. 17 turnovers so far. Johnson with it. Going to come off a screen. Kicks it. Nice job there by Zach Johnson as he comes up with the steal. Newton will bring it forward. Waylon Newton will hand it off to Micah Spate. And SNU will reset. Johnson to Chris Stevens, who just checked in. Micah Spate drives, kicks. Stevens, three-pointer. Good! Chris Stevens for 3. And the lead back to 5. Huge three-pointer there from Stevens as he gets that one to fall. Back on the other end. Parker off a screen. We'll go to Lupardis. Lupardis drives, kicks to Raekwon Rogers. Rogers goes up with it. And they get a late foul call as he goes to the ground. Starkey gets hit in the face, yet it's a foul on him. His third. Rogers to the line for 2. So 2 free throws coming up here for Rogers. Starkey just can't get calls on either end. Looked pretty minimal on the contact there, but he gets the call, and he's been struggling on the other end to get free. Primarily because he's been held pretty closely. As Owens is going to check in for Johnson. So Johnson going to check back out as he's been dealing with cramps here in the second half. One more free throw coming up for Rogers. It's up, and it's good. 70% free throw shooter Rogers is, and Tony's going to check back into the game. So Micah Spate brings it forward. It's a 3-point game. Could there be an upset brewing here in Arkadelphia? Newton with it. Hands off to Stevens. Stevens back to Newton. Goes to Micah Spate. I'll hand it back to Spate. Spate kind of trying to drive, puts a tough shot up, no good. Stevens with the rebound and gets the layup. Chris Stevens just took it out of the hands, I believe, of Tony and got the layup to fall. That's a big play there by Stevens. Parker now on the other end. Feels like every possession Henderson is getting a basket. SNU's just not getting many stops here, it feels like. 5:45 to play. Lupardish to drive. They'll go to Fofana. Fofana drives, it's blocked! There's one, it's Quaylen Newton. SNU comes back forward. Newton at the top of the arc. Gives it to Johnson. Spate crosses over. Spate drives, kicks to Johnson. Johnson drives. Back to Spate, three-pointer on the way. Back iron, no good. Lupardish with the rebound. Kicks it out to Chris Parker. They'll go to Owens. Owens foul, block. They call a block. Zach Johnson set up perfectly there, didn't move, and he called a block. That is unbelievable. Johnson outside of the restricted line was set up, didn't move an inch, gets run over by Owens, and it's a block. And I guarantee you it was a block simply because of the crowd reaction. Because there in the first half, that was a charge. This half, it's a block. Free throw is good, back down to a 2-point game. Owens up to 3 points. That was his first 3 points of the game as I get it to Stevens. Stevens goes to Micah Spate. They'll go inside to Noah Starkey. Starkey gets tied up. It'll stay SNU basketball.
Substitution for Southern Nazarene, number 1, R.J. Palmer.
Palmer going to check into the game for Newton. I mentioned Dunn also back into the game. Spate to inbound. They'll get it to Starkey. Hands it off to Spate. Three-pointer on the way. Off the mark. Long rebound. And out the other way comes Parker, but it's thrown away. Spate comes up with it. Owens tried to throw the heave down the court. And Micah Spate tracked it down as he overthrew Parker. Dunn with it now, top of the arc. Dunn gonna drive, blocked. Stevens comes up with it, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Spate with it, loses it, gets it back, puts the three up, and it rolled out. Oh my goodness. It has just been unlucky for SNU here in this half. Parker gonna come off a screen, throws one up, misses short. Rebound comes to Dunn. Under 4 to play in this game. This crowd's waiting to explode if they can simply tie the game here. This has been a battle. Stevens with it. Stevens to Dunn. Dunn off a screen from Starkey. Dunn gets his man up in the air, gets it over to R.J. Palmer. Palmer takes a three-pointer at the end of the shot clock. No good. Starkey with the rebound. Starkey looking for his point guard, gets hit in the face by Fofana. And we're going to immediate timeout. 3:25 to play. We got a good one, folks. Number 15, Southern Nazarene 60, Henderson State 58.
Foul is charged on Mike Fofana of Henderson State.
Hey guys, remember, no hard selling, no high pressure. Serenading, good, leave that to Sheldon, all right? Hugs, side hugs. Normal. People don't like to be sold, but they love to buy. You know, these guys may not look like much, but they are some of the greatest guys.
How about a hug?
Defeat, driven by family since 1954.
We will head across the street tomorrow, or take that Saturday, not a long road trip. We're going right across the street to Ouachita Baptist, as SNU will take on the Tigers for the second time this season. The men will start at 3 o'clock. The women will lead it off at 1 o'clock, as they're going to look to go for 6 in a row. SNU trying to make it 6 in a row here. They've led the whole time. They have not surrendered the lead one time. They lead 60-58 with 3:25 to play. They've led by as many as 23, but it has been tough here in the final few minutes. Starkey's going to go the line. I believe this is going to be a 1-and-1 for Noah Starkey. First free throw is up. It's good. Big one from Starkey. At least gets it to a 3-point game. This one even bigger, though. Can try and get it back to 2 possessions. Henderson's 11 of 23 from the field. SNU 7 of 20 in the second half. They've cooled down since that early spurt. Second free throw. Good. 3:25 and counting. Rel Johnson going to bring it up. Johnson coming off a screen. Johnson going to kick it to Fofana. Fofana spins, gets Starkey in the air, puts it up and misses short, and the rebound comes to Spate. Zach Johnson comes forward. 3 minutes to play in this game. Clock. If you're SNU, you want it to go faster if possible. Starkey to Johnson. Johnson will go to Spate in the corner. Spate pump fakes back to Palmer. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Palmer drives, kicks to Johnson. Open for 3! It's good! Zach Johnson with a huge 3-pointer in the corner with 2:37 to play. And that is absolutely huge from Zach Johnson. He steps into a 3-pointer, buries it from the corner, and SNU's back up by 7 as they look to try and finish this one off. It has been a struggle here in the last, as we said, it was at one point 25-2. SNU had everything going right. They were shooting well. And ever since then, Henderson's kind of flipped a switch, clawed and battled and clawed and everything imaginable. They've gotten as close as 1 point in this game, but have not been able to even tie it yet. SNU has found a way to stay in front, and Zach Johnson just hit a huge 3-pointer. I mean a huge one to get it to 7 points, which is a 3-possession game. And SNU needs to put together one of their best defensive efforts here in the final 2:37 to get out of Arkadelphia with a sweep of the Reddies and to go to 18-2 on the season. Rel Johnson's going to bring it forward. He has 13 points. Parker's the other one with 14 so far. Johnson off a screen. Goes to Fofana. Hands it off to Lupartis. Lupartis has been much better in the second half. Fofana gets it into Johnson. Goes up. Blocked! Blocked! Oh my goodness, what a block! Quaylen Newton! Spate gonna drive. Crosses over. Spate driving. Gets it stripped away. Johnson going the other way. It's actually picked up by Tony. Lupartis now. Drives. Goes up. Blocked again! And it goes out of bounds. Will stay. Will go SNU ball. Another big block. This time from Jonathan Dunn. Just going up with 2 hands. Not initiating any more contact. And just forcing it down. Crowd wants a foul. Maybe a little understandable, but I think they were both pretty clean from Newton and Dunn. Spate going to come off a screen. Spate going to come off another screen from Starkey. They'll go to Johnson. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson will go out to Spate. 5 seconds. Spate stuck. They'll have to go to Johnson. He puts up a 3, and it's a foul. They're going to call a foul on Lupardis. Wow. SNU catches maybe a little bit of a break on that one. Shot clock was going off. They get a foul call on Lupardis. They're going to review it, understandably so. There was contact. Both teams are going to go to the bench. They're going to review it and see if the foul was initiated before the shot clock violation. If so, Zach Johnson goes to the line for 3 free throws. And if so, as I said, SNU will have caught a major break on that one. 3 free throws for Zach Johnson, who has been big here in these closing minutes. And SNU can inch this back to 10 points, and it's been a courageous effort here from Henderson State to battle back. And if Johnson can hit at least 2 of these free throws, you would like him to get 3 to make it a 4-possession game and get it back to 10. Johnson had the big 3-pointer to get it back to 5. So first free throw coming up from Zach Johnson. It's up, and it's way off. Well off the mark there from Zach Johnson. He kind of laughs it off. Really, no matter what happens here, it's going to remain a 3-possession game, but you like to at least try to get it back out to 9 if you can. Second free throw short. Crowd is loud right now. One more coming up. See if Johnson can at least get one of them to go in. No. Missed all 3. That's big. Parker coming the other way. Parker to Fofana. 3-pointer. Off the mark. Rebound by Lupardis. Parker going to take the 3. No. Parker again. Back to Lupardis. He goes for 3. Finally goes in. 3 different chances there for Henderson State, and my God, they're going to hit one of them. You got to get the rebounds in those situations. Granted, they were all long rebounds, and you could just hear the crowd explode on that 3-pointer. They were all just anxiously awaiting one of them to go in. Now, with that said, it's still a 2-possession game, but it gets Henderson State a little bit closer, and I don't know what just happened to Zach Johnson at the free throw line. He is a good free throw shooter. Yeah, he's a 77% 3-point shooter. And that would have got it to a 10-point game and probably would have ended this game for all that it's worth. Couldn't get any of them to fall. Now it's a 4-point game, and that is a major momentum swing. And the crowd very into it right now. .105 to play. SNU will set to inbound. SNU has been poor from the free throw line today, 10 of 20. We'll see if that makes a difference here in the final 105. So SNU is set to inbound. Newton with it. Newton goes to Spate. Full court press here from Henderson. Newton will go ahead to Johnson. They might foul Johnson here, you think. Nope, they'll go to Spate. We're going to get a timeout. Actually, Jonathan Dunn decided to take a timeout. Maybe a good call there. Just to get out. I think he thought Johnson was trapped. Johnson had actually gotten out of it. It's going to be a full timeout, so 54 seconds to play. It is the double bonus. Henderson can foul here if they'd like. They can play defense if they want, but either way, whether free throw's going or not, it's going to remain a 2-possession game. I guess you look at it as a 4-point game as opposed to a 6-point game. You know, if I'm Henderson with the way SNU's shooting from the free throw line, only being 10 of 20, I think I would start fouling now. Make Southern Nazarene beat you at the line now. And they've been good from behind the arc. See if you can get some three-pointers to fall here in the final minutes. But play the free throw game now if you're Henderson State. And that may be what they're saying here in this timeout. Again, fans, as we said, baseball season starts tomorrow, 2 p.m. SNU will have their home opener. They'll take on Southwest Baptist beginning at 2 p.m. Join Phil Younts. He'll have the call for you from Bethany. And then join us again on Saturday. Myself will make the long, long trek right across the street to Ouachita Baptist. Southern Nazarene will battle OBU. And those games will be starting at 1 p.m. The women will lead it off, looking for 6 in a row, as they are in second place in the GAC. And the men, if they can hold on here, will look to go for 7 in a row, currently tops in the GAC. Johnson, the inbound, will get it to Micah Spate. Henderson's just going to play straight-up defense here. Spate with it. It's down to 10 seconds on the shot. Now 8. Spate, couple crossovers, comes off a screen. Spate drives, gets both men in the air, puts it up. Can't get it to fall. Starkey with the rebound. Starkey gets nailed, and Starkey goes to the line. A huge rebound there by Noah Starkey. Not a lot of harm there if you're Henderson State, because even if he makes both, it's still a 2-possession game. That is the 4th foul, though, on Tony. RJ Palmer's going to check back in momentarily. First free throw is good from Noah Starkey. 22 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocks for Noah Starkey, and I believe those 14 rebounds are a new career high. Second free throw is good. It's back to a 6-point game.
Checking in for the ready, number 51, Tanner Hamilton.
Actually, his high is 15. 15 is his career high, so he is just on the cusp of it with 14. You think he might be able to get one here. Parker brings it forward. Parker, three-pointer on the way. Good. My goodness. This team cannot miss in the second half from behind the arc. That is the 5th three-pointer for Parker. And, I mean, dude, the kid had a hand in his face and still got it to fall. And we're going to play more of the free throw game here as there's a timeout from Henderson. You know, if you're head coach Adam Bohach, you know, SNU's been playing really well, blowing some team outs, probably feeling pretty good about themselves, and just probably another, you know, Coach Bohach will say it every time. I don't think this team comes in big-headed or overlooking teams. But Coach Bohach will say it. If you don't come ready to play in the GAC, you can get knocked off by anybody. And this is a good Henderson State team at 12-6 on the year and 7-5 in the GAC. They're giving SNU everything they can handle here, and they deserve a lot of credit. It was 25-2, and it was looking like one of those classic SNU routes. And this team battled back. They deserve a lot of credit, and they got a chance here. It's a 3-point game now with 27 seconds. SNU basketball. Newton gets it to Starkey. They're fine with Starkey having it. Starkey gets fouled. No problem there. Just said Starkey is a great free throw shooter. He's actually probably been the one today who is shooting it well. He's at 23 points right now. 26 seconds on the clock. The shot clock is off.
To the line for Southern Nazarene, number 32, Noah Starkey.
First free throw from Starkey. Good. Big free throw there from Noah Starkey. Three-point shooters back into the game for Henderson. Palmer's going to check back in here in a moment for Starkey if he makes the second free throw. They added a point to Henderson, so the scoreboard's off. They just need to reverse it. No big deal. Now it's the 68. Now they need to bring it down to 64, and they do. One more coming up for Starkey. At 24 points now. And can't get the second one to roll. Here we go again. Three-pointer makes it interesting. Parker with it. Hands it off to Lupardis. Back to Parker. Henderson's got to hurry. Parker, deep three. Off the mark. Micah Spate rebound. Micah Spate's fouled. 11 seconds left. Again, it's a 4-point game. This isn't the end for Henderson still. 2 free throws. It's still a two-possession game. Spate, 7 points today. 9 assists, 6 rebounds. Stay tuned for the post-game show. If SNU wins, we'll have Noah Starkey join us as well as head coach Adam Bohach. We will talk to them post-game. Spate, first free throw is good. One more free throw coming up here for Micah Spate. It's up, and it is good. And it looks like SNU can hold here in the final minutes. They are going to survive. Parker with it. Parker, got to hurry. Gets it to Johnson. Johnson now a three-pointer. No good, and that will do it. SNU. Whew, it was a tough one, but they come into Henderson and leave with a 70-64 win. And SNU will go to 18-2 on the season and 11-2 in GAC play. And we will have, as we said, Adam Bohach will join us here in a minute. Rel Johnson being held back right now. Not really sure what happened. Not sure what's happening. They are holding Rel Johnson back. He is furious right now. You don't want any extracurricular activity here post-game. Like I said, we'll have Noah Starkey coming up here in a minute, as well as head coach Adam Bohach. We'll await the final stats. And we'll be coming up here, like I said, in just a minute. Like I said, some final stats coming up here in just a moment. And a great effort from Henderson. Tremendous effort from the Reddies. They give the crowd some high fives right by us. And as we said, this is a team that's down by 23 and made a tremendous come-from-behind effort and had a chance. Had a great chance to win the game. They did a really a wonderful job, and just a tip of the cap here to the Reddies on an excellent game as we get our final stats. SNU goes 24 for 58 from the field, 41%, 7 of 22 from behind the arc, 32%, and 15 of 26 from the free throw line at 58%. A finish with 40 rebounds to Henderson State's 33. 15 assists to 10. 18 turnovers, that is a season high for SNU. Very uncharacteristic of SNU. And it's really what kept Henderson in this ball game. Turnovers started to mount on SNU, and it kept the Reddies around. The Reddies, on the other hand, 24 of 62 from the field, 39%. 9 of 17 from behind the arc, 53%. And then 7 of 10 to the line, 70% from the field. Noah Starkey, player of the game, 24 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocked shots. Jonathan Dunn got off to a really good start. He finishes with 10 points and 6 rebounds. He really didn't he didn't take many shots in the second half. He only had 8 shots. Usually you see Jonathan getting, into double-digit range on the shots, especially when he's on early, but they found other ways. Micah Spate goes for 9 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds. Quaylen Newton, 7 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks. He also has a pair of steals. Dunn also had a pair of steals in the contest. On the other side, Chris Parker leads the way for Henderson State, 17 points, including 5 three-pointers. Rel Johnson adds 13 points and a pair of assists. Mike Fofana, 9 points and 10 rebounds in this contest. And as we said, we're going to have Noah Starkey joining us here in just a moment. We're trying to see if we can get some score updates from around the GAC. We see that Southern Arkansas is leading SWASU late, 73-60. They bounce back after a tough week. An upset, Arkansas Tech knocks off East Central 92 to 80. As we said, we just saw a final here. Southern Nazarene surviving 70-64. In Monticello, Arkansas Monticello defeats Northwestern 70-58. And then the big one we're trying to see is Oklahoma Baptist and Ouachita, as those two teams, as we know, Oklahoma Baptist coming in tied in first place right now. And we're trying to see if we have, it's final there, but don't see any word on what the final score was. As soon as we get an update there, we will pass along the final score from Ouachita and Oklahoma Baptist, because that's probably the one most people are concerned about with that tie atop the GAC standings. So we'll see if we have any sort of update from that game. But again, that one has gone final. And as we said, we await Noah Starkey. And we're going to take a quick break. We will have Noah Starkey coming up here in just a moment, as well as head coach Adam Bohash. Again, don't go anywhere. Post-game show just getting started. And we do have an update. Shout out to the MVP as far as it comes to graduate assistants from SIDs, Tanner Stiles, coming in with the hot update from just across the street. The Ouachita Baptist Tigers have defeated Oklahoma Baptist, meaning Southern Nazarene is back on top of the GAC. No tie, no anything. GAC is right now being led by Southern Nazarene at 11-2 as Oklahoma Baptist falls to 10-3. OBU is going to come over here on Saturday, and Bison better be ready to play, because you know that Henderson State team is going to be very, very hungry. They, as we said, they played some great basketball, especially in the second half, hit a lot of shots, and you know, as close as they came today, you know they're going to want to try to pull that upset on Oklahoma Baptist on Saturday. On the other end, SNU is going to get ready for Ouachita Baptist, as we have Noah Starkey about to join us. That Ouachita game is going to be a big one. But we're going to take a quick break. Noah Starkey coming your way here in just a moment. All right, and we're back here at the Duke Wells Center here in Arkadelphia, and it was a tough contest, but SNU comes out on top. Number 15 team in the nation defeats Henderson State 70-64. We are here with Noah Starkey after a big 24-point game. Go with 14 boards and 3 blocks. Noah, first of all, congratulations on the win.
Nice.
Obviously, you guys got off to a very hot start, got off to a good lead, and you know, this team being the good team that they are, battled back. Just talk me through as they're kind of making a comeback. What are you guys saying to each other? What are you guys telling each other as the game progresses?
I mean, we knew it was going to be. We were going to be in for a whole game. We were going to have to play tough the whole time. Coach said it was going to be 40 minutes, and it was. It came down right to the end. So we were just trying to stay solid, especially on defense, and we had some big shots at the end of the game, and that helped us out a lot.
Absolutely. And so let's start on the defensive end as we're kind of getting into the crunch time. You know, Henderson hit some tough shots, especially from behind the arc. But towards the end, you get a big block from Quaylen, you get a big block from Jonathan, you get some big stops. Just talk about stepping up defensively in those crunch time moments.
Yeah, that was huge. Those guys made big plays there at the end, and that really it saved the game. You know, but that's what we do a lot of times. You know. It comes down to defense in the end usually, and so it's good for us.
All right, we got to talk about big play Zach Johnson. You know, you guys are up by 2 late in the game, and I believe it was you who kicked it out to him in the corner, and he buries just a monumentally huge 3 that pushed it to a 5-point game with about, I think, under 2 minutes left. Just, I mean, the guy, he makes big plays defensively. He makes big – talk about him.
You know, I don't know if I can take credit for that. I think that was RJ that passed it to him, but it was a good shot by Zach though, and you know it was clutch, and I knew it was going to go in when he let go of it. It looked good. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a big night yourself. 24 points, 14 boards, 3 blocks. You're able to do a lot of things in the post, both offensively and defensively. Just talk about your game, what you were kind of seeing, what you guys were trying to, you know, it looked like they were really trying to get you going in the paint, and so talk about that game plan going in.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of playing my high side, so I didn't really have to make a whole lot of post moves. Our guards just really threw me a lot of good passes, and so I really just had to finish them. We had a couple tough passes there, like had some turnovers, but I think we're getting better at throwing that pass to the post, so that was nice.
Absolutely, and then you guys are going to make the long road trip right across the street against Ouachita Baptist coming up here on Saturday. A Ouachita Baptist team that did defeat Oklahoma Baptist tonight, so coming off a big win. You know, it's going to be a tough challenge in Arkadelphia across the road. Talk a little bit about that contest coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game. They played tough, and it was a close game when we played them at our place, so it'll be a good one for sure.
Noah Starkey, 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks. SNU defeats Henderson State 70-64. Noah, again, congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
I'm back here on the post-game show. Again, number 15, Southern Nazarene defeats Henderson State 70-64, and we're here with head coach Adam Bohach. And, you know, Coach, you know, you guys got off to a great start, but you know and I know that's a really good team, and they really battled back and gave you guys a run for your money. And just talk about your group closing that game out. You had a big shot from Zach Johnson, some big defensive stops. Just talk a little about that.
Yeah, I thought, you know, just what you said, James. It was too easy, too early there for us, and boy, Henderson's not going to go away because they are so well coached, and Jimmy does such a good job. Those guys are so tough, and so you knew they were going to come, and we didn't handle it very good. They got real physical, and I'm unsure, but I think 18 is a season high on turnovers.
It is.
And that was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The turnovers led to us not being able to get our defense set, and we were scrambled, and we were chasing them around, and that helped them get the 9 threes. And, you know, when we didn't turn it over, you know, it was easier to guard them. And so I thought a lot of the turnovers were us trying to throw it to Noah. And, boy, they were on his high side just daring us to throw it over the top, and we just probably tried to do it too often on the first side instead of reversing it a time or two more. But boy, he battled. I think he got fouled about every trip down the floor, and you know, played a bunch of minutes, and super proud and happy for him and for our entire team. Chris and Zach there made some really big plays the final 5 minutes as well.
Well, and that you kind of led me perfectly into the next question. Chris makes a big 3 and gets just an amazing rebound for a putback, and then with the game at 2 points, I believe it was under 2 minutes, RJ kicks it out to Zach, and he hits just a monumental 3-pointer from the corner that gave you guys a little bit of a cushion there at the end and helped you guys kind of close it out there at the end. Just, you know, talk about those guys coming through in key situations late in the game.
Yeah, you love it. And, you know, I love Chris. He was sitting over there for a long time there in the second half. And, you know, he's a veteran. He knows what that game called for. It called for a physical play, an aggressive play, and he stepped right into that 3, and then he went right to the O-glass when he got in there 2 huge offensive rebounds by him today, and the game was yelling for that. The game needed that, and, it's a good feeling to have some veteran guys that understand what it is that wins on the road. It's not the things that go in the box score. It's all the other stuff, and both those guys provided that tonight.
Well, and so late in the game, Henderson's hitting some shots, first of all, and they hit some tough shots even, but, Henderson's heated up from the field. You guys got a couple big stops. Quaylen comes through with a huge block on one end. Jonathan follows it with another big block on the other end, and got some huge stops that, again, gave you guys a little bit of cushion to close it out at the free throw line. Just talk about those stops late in the game as well.
That's huge. Those were all after made free throws where we were able to get established. A couple times I think there was even a timeout before then. And, boy, when we were dug in tonight and our defense was set, I thought we guarded them pretty hard and pretty well. Parker's a tough cover on the ball screen. He has a real good feel for it. And when he gets going from the three-point line, then you got your hands full. The one guy, Zero, I thought we screwed that up a couple times, and he's good enough to make you pay, and he did.
Yep. And then we'll talk a little more about Noah. Obviously, 24 points, 14 rebounds, a big game. And, 6'11" frame, you're going to get a lot of attention. You're going to get a lot of holds. You're going to get double teams. You're going to get probably a lot of things that are frustrating. Talk about him just sticking with it and putting together a really nice game for you guys.
Yeah, he's awesome, James. What a demeanor he has to continue to play really, really hard when you're getting grabbed and held, and we're not doing the best job we could tonight of getting you the ball even though you're open. And, again, all that credit for all those things goes to Henderson State.
Mm-hmm.
They were tremendous defensively. They were pressuring us, so the passer couldn't have a clear view of Noah in there. And boy, if you got ready to throw it, the backside come a-running. And if you drove it, the backside come a-running. We ran them over several times. And so they played really hard and really well and had a lot to do with our struggles there on offense. Get
you out on this. You guys are going to head across the street and get ready for a Ouachita team that they've already defeated Oklahoma Baptist today, 77-70, so they're coming off a huge win. They're going to be looking forward to having you guys now on Saturday with that win. And, it's GAC basketball. It's another good team. Talk about getting ready for them.
Yeah, we have tremendous respect for both these programs in this road swing. I mean, the guys really do. They were locked in all week in practice because they knew how good Henderson is, and they know how good Ouachita is and how hard Ouachita plays and how hard they guard you. They had the lead on us in the second half and in our building there right when we got back from Christmas, and they were probably the tougher team that whole day. So I know our guys are looking forward and know what we'll be walking into over there Saturday afternoon.
15th-ranked Southern Nazarene finds a way and defeats Henderson State 70-64. Coach, I always got to get out with you. How about the women? Another great win for Coach May.
That's awesome.
We always got to close that way, So it's another sweep for SNU. They get both wins today in Arkadelphia over Henderson State, and we'll look forward to having you join us from Arkadelphia again as they'll head across the street to Ouachita. We'll have that game beginning at 1 p.m. for the women. The men will follow up at 3 p.m. We hope you will join us, and we hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Thank you again for joining us. Again, Southern Nazarene gets a sweep on both the men's and women's side. The women winning earlier today and the men closing it out with a 70-64 win. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and have a wonderful rest of your evening.